What's up, everybody? My name is Brendan Hufford. I'm feeling a little bro-y here in the tank top and the sunglasses today, but welcome back to 100 Days of SEO. Today, we're talking about something that I am staking my whole career on, search intent. In this video, I talk about what search intent is, how to do it right. Most people are telling you how to do it wrong, and why you should stake your career, your website, and your business on it too. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? Brendan Hufford here. We are in my computer. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn why I think all the current models for search intent really don't help anybody, why I think most content based on those models can't rank, and finally, how to create content that ranks, gets clicked, and then converts. That's what we want. We want something that drives business, not just keywords, not just traffic. Now, if you stay until the end, I got something super special for you. I do this in almost all of my videos now. Watch until the end of the video. I'm going to make a pretty special offer to help you for free with your website. Now, shout out to all my subscribers who hear me say this every single freaking video, but just in case you're new here, I'm Brendan Hufford. That's me, looking really cool. Not really. Sweet Apple Watch. But I'm Brendan Hufford. I'm the founder of SEO for the Rest of Us in 100 Days of SEO. I'm also the SEO director at Click Studios, where we help venture-backed startups, global sports brands, local Chicago businesses. I'm also a former teacher. I'm a pretty regular dude. I'm a dad of 3. Shout out to all the dads out there. And today, we're going to review something really quickly. I want to talk about topical research. I just put out a video on topical research. But in that video, one of the things I said was that the skills of SEOs and copywriters are starting to overlap more and more. And I'm starting to get so many great ideas and just great results for clients and even on my own projects by implementing things that I'm learning from my friends who are copywriters.
You're not the only one cursed with knowledge.
Because in that video about topical research, I said the genius move really is to match search intent. Shout out if you got the cruel intentions joke. So I want to review a bit of content that's come out around search intent. Now, here's one from Josh Hardwick. I've had Josh on the 100 Days of SEO project. Think the world of Josh. If you look at this article, it's focusing on this 4 types of search intent, this informational, navigational, etc. And honestly, I think that way of looking at search intent is wrong. I don't agree with it. Here's another one from Sujan Patel. Oh, look, what do you notice again? Here's the same type of search intent matrix. Wrong. Here's another one going back for, a little bit earlier in 2019 from Kane Jameson. Yeah, I actually like this one. It's pretty good. And I'll explain why here in a second. But here's one from 2018 from Yoast. Oh, what do we notice again? The 4 types of search intent. Wrong. Still wrong. Going back to 2012, here's one from Nick Eubanks. He wrote this for Stat. This is when it says Nick is the VP of Digital Strategy at WL Snook and Associates. Like, this is so old. This is 7 years old at the time that I'm putting out this video. And he talked about the same thing. Look, it's August 31st, 2012. We're still talking about this. And if we go all the way back to 2007, look at this. Rand Fishkin in 2007 was talking about navigational searches, informational searches. We're still using the same model from 12 years ago. You're telling me search intent has not changed in 12 years? No, people are just writing about it in the same way. We're just accepting it as the same canon. And look, do you believe anything else from 2007 is still awesome? Do you think Leave Britney Alone and Chocolate Rain are still awesome? Chocolate Rain is still awesome. That's still great. But I just want to put it in perspective of what else was popular in 2007. Now, the reason I like Kane's article is because Kane kind of breaks it down a little bit more into transactional, branded, visual research, answer, etc. But again, the problem is I don't think these are really intents. This is almost like a search results predictor. These aren't always the intent of what people actually want. And here's the problem is that it doesn't translate into what to actually create for them. If people are researching or they want an answer, I want to break those down and go a little bit deeper on creating things that are going to get clicked, keep people on the site, and then get conversions. Remember, watch all the way to the end. I'm going to make a pretty cool offer to help you here in the comments of this YouTube video. So you're asking yourself, WTF, Brendan, what do I write? You're telling me about search intent. How do I actually match that intent? Now, here's some really interesting stuff from John Henry Shirk that really aligns. I think John Henry is one of the smartest people in SEO. Really aligns with what I'm talking about here. John Henry says, everyone's talking about user intent in relation to content and keywords, but nobody's talking about context. Context, generally in relation to the purchase journey, is just as important. Lack of context is why I think it's hard to outsource authoritative and authentic content or customer product focused content creation. Like, you can't just have somebody else. You can't outsource your product's content because they don't know about it. They don't have the context. They don't have the point of view. They don't understand the nuance. And what's funny is John said, is nobody writing about this? And I said, I feel like I'm the only one that's talking about this. Now, here's where I got it from. I'm reading Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. And all my copywriters right now are like, yeah, bro, duh. We've known about this forever. It's a super old book. This Titans Marketing. You don't have to buy it for $400. It's actually a low price of $125. And people are like, oh my God, why would I spend $125 on a book? How much was the last online course that you bought? Like $300. This book is way better than any online course. You should absolutely buy it. But in here, Schwartz breaks down a really interesting funnel and something that I feel like really maps to search intent and awareness. So here's what that looks like. If we imagine like a funnel, it's not really a funnel, but if we look at this as like more generalized keywords and kind of search intent at the top down to more specific. Here's how Schwartz lays this out, and here's how I think you should lay it out for your content. So at the top is somebody who is problem aware, right? At the problem aware level, they know the problems and pains they have. They're Googling those problems and those pains. They need to know a solution like yours exists, right? And to sell them. Now, here's a confusing thing. I actually had somebody tell me that they didn't follow some of my advice because they're like, my page doesn't have anything to sell. When I say to sell them, this is written by Eugene Schwartz, somebody who's like a conversion copywriter. They actually do want to sell. I don't want to sell. I just want them to get them to take action. Taking action might mean reading another article at this level, opting in for a lead magnet, joining a newsletter, buying a low-tier product, etc. Maybe joining a Facebook group or a Slack group. So at this level, at the problem-aware level, to sell them, meaning to get them to take action, you just have to empathize. You have to show you get their pain. The problem-aware level would be like somebody Googling back pain. I have a little sip of coffee here. Oh, it's delicious. You have to show them you get their pain. So if they're Googling back pain, we just want to empathize with them about how much it hurts and how debilitating it is and how frustrating, and there's all these different solutions. And once you've empathized with them enough, then you can show a solution like yours exists. Let's say you have a website about yoga and you have a really cool article about yoga for back pain. We want to push them to that article. That's the call to action at the end of a problem aware. Too often people try to jam their product in there and their course and their solution. They don't give a crap about a solution and convincing them. We just want them to understand that our solution exists, and then maybe send them somewhere to learn more about that. Now, the next article, the article we're probably going to send them to, is now they're solution aware. They aware, this says yoga could be one option for my back pain. So they know that solution exists. And what they need to know is how the solution solves their pain. So in this level of awareness, they need to know exactly how, like, what are the mechanisms of doing yoga, maybe some examples of people who have solved their back pain with yoga.
Pull your belly button in to take weight off your leg, like that's somehow physically possible.
How that solution solves their pain. Or for example, if they're trying to increase their revenue and you have a company that does email marketing, maybe showing how better email marketing would solve their pain of like a downturn in revenue. This is where they need to know just how it solves their pain, right? Not specific. We're not pushing them, because to sell them here, we just show them how our solution works. Just show them how it works. It's not convincing them. This is not a sales pitch, because where we want to push them now that they're product aware. So at the top, it was like, I know I have problems. Then the next level deeper, I know there's some kind of solutions, and they're Googling for these solutions. Now at the product aware level, they know your solution solves their pain. They know yoga could help their back pain. What they need to know is if my specific solution, now here's where we start getting a little bit more salesy. They need to know if my solution is best for them. If we were to make up a search term here at the product aware level, this is people Googling ConvertKit versus MailChimp. This is people Googling yoga versus stretching for back pain, right? They need to know if your solution, if your course, if your coaching, if your whatever you offer, if your software is the best for them. And to sell them, you have to prove you're the best option. You have to prove, and this is where we start getting into really good case studies, testimonials. You want to go heavy on the proof here in proving you're the best option. Now, at the deepest level, these are people who are the most aware of what you do. They already know what's the best for them. They know, they're convinced. They're convinced that this is my solution. And what they're Googling is stuff, they just want to know the deal. This is people Googling ConvertKit pricing. They know that ConvertKit is a good solution. They're just at that final buying decision. They want to know the nitty-gritty details of something, and they just want to see the deal. So you got to show it to them at this level. Now, by creating your content and mapping, you have to reverse engineer. The easiest way to do this is just to Google something and look at what the results are, right? Look at what's already ranking and consider, what are they really looking for when they're Googling? We all look at keywords, we do keyword research, but the problem is it's so shallow, right? Like John Henry said, it doesn't have the context necessary to actually create content that's going to convert, that's going to actually build your business. This is how you create content that maps to search intent, that will rank, will get clicked, and then will keep people there and get the conversion, whatever that level of conversion is. Even if it's at problem aware, getting them to read another article, solution aware, pushing them to a product page, etc., etc. I hope this has been super helpful for you. Me and Thanos here, we want to make an offer to you. Share your site in the comments below. I'll help the first 10 people with how you can leverage search intent for more traffic and conversions. I want to actually get in the comments. I want to show you I know what I'm talking about, number one, but I also want to genuinely help people. I want you to see the power of search intent in what I'm sharing here. So leave that in the comments below. I've been Brendan Hufford. Don't forget to work hard, be nice to people, and don't get too lost trying to create something that matters.